going on YouTube? This is BMCool247 again with our Exodia goat deck today. So this one's a little bit different than, of course, than the typical Exodia deck, because this one runs the Magical Merchant card that really just pitches all your monsters to the grave, and I like that build for that based off Skull Servant and the Old Retro Expert, I believe the YouTuber his name is. So it's kind of based off that engine a little bit, but Exodia format style. So of course, let's go ahead and get into the monsters. There's a large monster lineup here. Exodia and his body parts. Let's go ahead and leave that to the side. No explanation there. Get 5 of those in your hand and you win the game or the duel. Magical Merchant. This one is going to excavate cards until you get a magic spell or trap. So that's why we're going to keep so many monsters in this deck, is so we the spells and traps that we do pull better be good ones. So that's the main core combo piece of the deck. 3 Thunder Dragons, so you see one of these immediately get the other 2, just so you can have more cards with this card in your hand. Sangan, of course, to get any Exodia piece. Usually you want to go for the head because of the next card here, Emissary of the Afterlife. When this card is sent from the field to the grave, each player adds 1 level 3 and lower normal monster from their deck to their hand. So this is going to fetch you the rest of the pieces, whereas Sangan can fetch you any of the pieces or any of the monsters. So I'd recommend getting that. 3 Mystic Tomato. This you would search for Sangan immediately, most 9 times out of 10. So, and then if you already searched a Sangan, maybe you can search for an Apprentice Magician. So again, this is similar to the build the Old Retro Expert did, where you run 3 Apprentice Magician, and then once he's destroyed from battle, what's pretty nice is you can either set one of these from the deck to the field, or if you need to get rid of a problem monster, I'm running 1 Old Vindictive Magician. So once he's destroyed by battle, you can set a special summon a level 2 or lower spellcaster type monster from your deck and face down defense. Some generic cards. Morphing Jar. It's okay to discard your Exodia pieces. You'll see why in a second. Sinister Serpent, because if you discard that, it's going to come right back to your hand, which is pretty nice, and it's going to work well with this, and Thunder Dragon works well with card destruction. Tsukiyomi, so you can flip down your monsters in case you need to, and Spirit Reaper, because you can't be destroyed by battle and can stall for a while for you. The only thing that I would, and you can search him via Mystic Tomato. The only thing that I would, I might change about this deck is maybe add some Big Shield Gardenas to it, because he's good against Noblemen of Crossout. On to the spells. 2 Upstarts. You don't care if they have life points or not, so that's a freebie. Graceful and Pot. You actually probably don't need Delinquent Duo in this case, just because you want to keep as much life points as possible as long as you can. And you just want to see more of your cards. You don't care more about their cards, because they could have Mirror Force in their hand and you don't give a crap about discarding their Mirror Force. Card Destruction. Wish I could run more than this, but this one's good too, because you have a pretty, after playtesting this, you get a pretty fat hand all the time, and you're always throwing away like 5 cards, which is really nice. So you can really dig through your deck, and then you can recycle this with Magician of Faith. And then for the cards to get the Exodia pieces back, 2 Dark Factory Mass Production, so you can target 2 normal monsters in your graveyard, add those targets to your hand. So you're either going to get this through Magical Merchant, or before you use Card Destruction, maybe set that and then use Card Destruction so you don't lose, because you only have 2 of these. And then you have 2 Monster Reincarnation. Since this head is not a normal monster, you can't fetch it via Dark Factory Mass Production, so you need to at least get it with Monster Reincarnation as 2 of your outs too, in case this is in the grave. Just keep in mind, this you have to have 2 normal monsters, so sometimes you might need to pitch another Exodia piece to the grave to get it back. The only thing this deck is bad against is if they banish that monster in the grave. So you want to try to from the grave. So you want to try to just get that back sooner rather than later. If they banish it, it's probably game over for you. And 2 trap cards, maybe just helps to stall for you there. So yeah, this deck's all up. And then there is the backup soldier trap card, which brings 3 normal monsters back from your deck, from your grave to your hand. But I just don't like the ability for the opponent to potentially destroy that trap card that you have set face down. So that's why I run the Dark Factory of Mass Production instead. So, and then you can recycle this via Magician of Faith or this one. So that's the good part about those two as well. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed this Exodia deck build for the GOAT format, and I'll see you in the next one.